Good morning, You Can Heal family. I am outside today. I'm not on the couch, but hopefully you can hear the sounds of nature behind me. We're reading 1 Samuel chapter 4 today. My name is Shena, and I'm glad you're hanging out with me. Chapter 4 begins with the conquest of Israel by Philistia. At that time, Israel was at war with the Philistines. The Israelite army was camped near Ebenezer, and the Philistines were at Aphek. The Philistines attacked and defeated the army of Israel, killing 4,000 men. After the battle was over, the army of Israel retreated to their camp, and their leaders asked, "Why did the Lord allow us to be defeated by the Philistines?" Then they said, "Let's bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh. If we carry it into battle with us, it will save us from our enemies." So they sent men to Shiloh to bring back the ark of the covenant of the Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim. Hophni and Phinehas, the sons of Eli, helped carry the ark of God to where the battle was being fought. Now that's interesting because these two scoundrels have been up to no good and they get to carry the ark. Doesn't life sometimes things don't seem fair? Like some people get to do things you want to do even though they've been acting up. So that's what I just thought of. So verse 5 says, "When the Israelites saw the ark of the covenant of the Lord coming into the camp, their shout of joy was so loud that it made the ground shake." "What's going on?" the Philistines asked. "What's all the shouting about in the Hebrew camp?" When they were told it was because the ark of the Lord had arrived, they panicked. "The gods have come into their camp," they cried. "This is a disaster. We have never had to face anything like this before. Who can save us from these mighty gods of Israel?" They are the same gods who destroyed the Egyptians with plagues when Israel was in the wilderness. "Fight as you never have before, Philistines. If you don't, we will become the Hebrews' slaves, just as they have been ours." So the Philistines fought desperately, and Israel was defeated again. Oh wow, they got defeated. The slaughter was great. 30,000 Israelite men died that day. The survivors turned and fled to their tents. The ark of God was captured, and Hophni and Phinehas, the two sons of Eli, were killed. Okay, so the sons didn't make it out. Oh wow, and the ark was captured. Verse 12 starts out, Eli dies. A man from the tribe of Benjamin ran from the battlefield and arrived at Shiloh later that same day. He had torn his clothes and put dust on his head to show his grief. Eli was waiting beside the road to hear the news of the battle, for his heart was troubled for the safety of the ark of God. When the messenger arrived and told what had happened, an outcry resounded throughout the town. "What is all the noise about?" Eli asked. The messenger rushed over to Eli, who was 90 years old and blind. He said to Eli, "I have just come from the battlefront. I was there this very day." "What happened?" Eli demanded. "Israel has been defeated." The messengers replied, "Thousands of Israelite troops are dead on the battlefield. Your two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, were killed too, and the ark of God has been captured." When the messenger mentioned what had happened to the ark, Eli fell backward from his seat beside the gate. He broke his neck and died, for he was old and very fat. He had led Israel for 40 years. Oh man. Eli's daughter-in-law, the wife of Phinehas, was pregnant and near her time of delivery. When she heard that the ark of God had been captured and that her husband and father-in-law were dead, her labor pains suddenly began. Oh dear, she died in childbirth, but before she passed away, the midwives tried to encourage her. "Don't be afraid," they said. "You have a baby boy." But she did not answer or respond in any way. She named the child Ichabod. "Where is the glory?" murmuring, "Israel's glory is gone." She named him this because the ark of God had been captured and because her husband and father-in-law were dead. Then she said, "The glory has departed from Israel, for the ark of God had been captured." Well, I guess she was alive enough to name the baby. I thought that she didn't respond in the verse before, but it looks like she named the baby. Wow. That ends the chapter. Let's take a look at chapter 5. 1 Samuel chapter 5. The Philistines sin with the ark. Oh boy. After the Philistines captured the ark of God, they took it from the battleground at Ebenezer to the city of Ashdod. They carried the ark of God into the temple of Dagon and placed it beside the idol of Dagon. But when the citizens of Ashdod went to see it in the next morning, Dagon had fallen with his face to the ground in front of the ark of the Lord. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. So they set the idol up again, but the next morning the same thing happened. The idol had fallen face down before the ark of the Lord again. This time his head and hands had broken off and were lying in the doorway. Only the trunk of his body was left intact. That is why, to this day, neither the priest of Dagon nor anyone who enters the temple of Dagon will step on its threshold. Then the Lord began to afflict the people of Ashdod and the nearby villages with plagues of tumors. See, how did they think they were going to have the ark in their city? And nothing happened. When the people realized what was happening, they cried out, "We can't keep the ark of God of Israel here any longer. He is against us. We will all be destroyed along with our god Dagon." So they called together the rulers of the 5 Philistine cities and asked, "What should we do with the ark of the God of Israel?" The rulers discussed it and replied, "Move it to the city of Gath." So they moved the ark of the God of Israel to Gath. But when the ark arrived at Gath, the Lord began afflicting its people, young and old, with the plague of tumors, and there was a great panic. So they sent the ark of God to the city of Ekron, but when the people of Ekron saw it coming, they cried out, "They're bringing the ark of God of Israel here to kill us too." So the people summoned the rulers again and begged them, "Please, send the ark of God of Israel back to its own country, or it will kill us all." For the plague from God had already begun, and great fear was sweeping across the city. Those who didn't die were afflicted with tumors, and there was weeping everywhere. Oh yeah, don't mess with the Lord. Oh my goodness. I think of that scripture, if God is for us, who can be against us? Like he takes care of things that we can't, He doesn't let people get away with stuff. Like they really thought they could keep the ark of God in their cities. Oh, that's really good. So that's chapter 5, and we're moving right along in 1 Samuel. We're gonna go live this weekend, you guys. So be ready for that. I'm thinking Saturday night. Okay, I'll see you guys Saturday night for our live reading. So for you guys, that will be tonight, right? For listening on Saturday morning. All right, I love you. I really do. Always remember that true healing begins with self-love. Why? Because God is love, and He lives on the inside of you. Bye.